y'all, welcome back to another Scooby-Dooby review, where I talk about the latest Scooby-Doo and Guess Who episodes. And we have two brand new episodes, Scooby-Doo meets Ricky Gervais, and Scooby-Doo meets Wonder Woman. So let's dive right on in. For the Ricky Gervais episode, my goodness. Ricky Gervais might just be the most self-aware guest star that we have seen on any Scooby-Doo project. He's apparently like this, he insists on being called comedy legend, Ricky Gervais. I can't say I've heard of him, but he was pretty funny in this episode, though. He just keeps, like, burning the gang, like making fun of Fred, like, I can't take you seriously, Fred. You're wearing a cravat. Talking about his ascot scarf, because they're actually in London, I believe, because Ricky Gervais has a cat mummy ransacking his apartment, and he apparently just calls in the gang to help him deal with this. Okay. Once again, I just have to keep saying this every single one of these episodes. There is just not much to these mysteries. Like, even in Be Cool Scooby-Doo, where they made a lot of questionable choices, at least they kept you guessing. With these mysteries, I keep seeing it over and over again. They'll give you maybe like two or three, like at most maybe two suspects, and it's usually the one it's usually the one that's not, that where they don't go, that guy's suspicious. It's usually the other guy. Like the one that's nice or the most helpful, or whoever you would expect to be a nice guy is usually the bad guy, and that's the same here, and I'm just like, oh, that's like my one major problem with Scooby-Doo and Guess Who is they don't like flesh out these mysteries. They don't make them really good. I think part of this has to do with the shortened runtime, because when they first did this kind of thing back in the new Scooby movies, there was a reason why they were called the new Scooby movies. They were like extra long episodes where it was more than just, you know, the gang interacting with whatever guest star and, you know, Scooby-Doo shenanigans ensue. They were able to flesh the mysteries out a little bit and keep you guessing. And they go over the clues and everything. Here, it's run of the mill. You gotta keep things moving, because you only have about 20 minutes of airtime. And we see that here. Ricky and the gang are in his apartment. The cat mummy attacks. We get some running around there. Then they just keep things moving. Part of this episode, Ricky Gervais apparently has this cat. I don't know if he has this cat in real life, but it is like the most spoiled cat I have ever seen. He's just completely obsessed in spoiling this cat, and the cat's, you know, a cat. A bit of a cartoon cat, but this cat is just, you know, bored with everything and just being, you know, how cats are. But I mean, there's a lot of good interactions with Ricky Gervais in this episode, because he's a bit of a comedian, well, I say he's a bit of a comedian, but that's his whole thing. And he tells his jokes. Not all of them hit, especially not with the gang. He's just like, oh, you kids, you're kooky and you're nice, but you're real dense. I don't do a good accent. Then we get this cat mummy transition into a museum. Some more shenanigans ensue. But there's like this one pretty funny part where Ricky basically just like calls out the gang, and being, or at least Scooby-Doo in general. He's just like, all right, so y'all have your own little catchphrases. Velma says Jinkies, Daphne has Jeepers, Shaggy says Zoinks, and this is funny because Fred doesn't normally have a catchphrase, but in this series he's like, and Fred even says, hold the phone. Hold the phone. But then he calls out Scooby-Doo saying, but Scooby, you don't have a catchphrase. You just say your name. I mean, you say it in a funny way, but just saying your name isn't a catchphrase. Then Scooby's just like, I don't get it. I don't get it. he's trying to get Scooby to come up with something better than Scooby-Dooby-Doo! And this goes somewhere later. And I like just how self-aware that Ricky Gervais is throughout all of this. He's like calling out the gang for when they're just running through, you know, the Scooby-Doo formula, and he's just like, why don't we just do it this way, guys? Like all the gang is looking at potential suspect, going, "Can you say suspicious?" And he's just like, and Ricky Gervais is just being there like, "Can I suspect? Oh, you guys are doing your little thing. Okay, yes, continue." And like calling out Velma when she says she has this mystery just about solved, and he's just like, "All right, who is it? Just say it out loud. Who's the bad guy? Then we can all go home." And she's like, and then they're just like, no, Ricky, this isn't how we do things around here. And he's just like, fine, well, let's do it your way. Let's just do it your way. And he even sets up the trap, and Fred gets a little jealous there for a minute, and then they're just like, well, I suppose Ricky should drive the van now too, and everyone's like, yes! Oh, but they catch the bad guy, and then once again at the end, Ricky, the bad guy doesn't say the catchphrase right away, and Ricky Gervais is just like, aren't you gonna say the thing? And he's like, what? You know, you would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids. Well, I could say that. Well, then do it. And also, don't forget to mention me. Don't forget to mention me, because I've a very important guest star. I think I've done more in this episode than anyone ever. So say comedy legend Ricky Gervais and Ollie too. Don't forget to mention Ollie, which is his cat. And then he's just like, I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids and comedy legend Ricky Gervais and his cat. Oh, like I said, the mystery in these episodes, they're not that great, but the jokes and the character interaction, that's some top-notch stuff. That's what I'm watching this show for. And then, like, Ricky Gervais just, like, kicks the gang out of his apartment once the mystery's solved. He's like, okay, we had fun. Let's not overstay our welcome. Go on, out. And then he turns to, like, his giant pile of cats. You'd have to see the episode to get it. And then he's just singing to himself, Ricky Dooby Doo and Ollie too. Do 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 do. And Scooby just like, he goes ballistic, like, where's my rhyme? He stole my rhyme! That's Scooby Dooby Doo! And the episode just ends. Overall, pretty funny episode. I just wish I've actually seen any of Ricky Gervais' stuff, so maybe I would know who he is. But overall, pretty solid though. They in season 2 they need to work on these mysteries. Try and flesh them out a little bit more. And then in the second episode we have Wonder Woman. Do 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 do. I kid. This is actually another interesting episode. The mystery itself was garbage, but there was a lot going on in this one. It opens up in like a museum in Greece. The gang are just visiting. And Scooby and Shaggy, they're in a museum being themselves. Shenanigans ensue. Then the monster of the week comes out. It's a Minotaur, right? I believe. And he starts bumbling around, doing the normal monster stuff. And then Wonder Woman just steps out of nowhere. She's like in a coat or something. And then she just steps out to protect the kids. And they're like, Wonder Woman! And then she's like combating the Minotaur. And then Scooby and Shaggy accidentally interfere. And the Minotaur gets away because we can't have Wonder Woman just defeating the Minotaur right there at the beginning, because then we'd have no episode. But we get a lot of interesting interactions off of this, because, Daphne and Velma are just like, oh, Wonder Woman, we really appreciate what you do, the way you fight, and everything you do for women. And she's like, well, I believe any woman can be strong and everything. And she's spreading that message, and then it's like, yeah, but not like you, Wonder Woman. And then she's like, well, I'm sure you guys are capable of fighting. And then Daphne, does her little martial arts thing, nearly takes off Shaggy's head, which is a nice little callback because there's been a couple entries throughout the franchise where Daphne has taken up some martial arts skills. Very recently, from my memory, the Scooby-Doo team-up books, Daphne actually learned Kung Fu from Hong Kong Phooey. She actually read the book of Kung Fu and did what Hong Kong Phooey never does and actually try to hit his opponents. Apparently that's why he's always messing up. Because he doesn't want to actually hit anybody because then they'd be hurt. But anyways, then Wonder Woman sees Daphne's technique, and then she decides to train Velma and Daphne up. And Fred's just like, well, what about us? And then she's just like, Wonder Woman says, sorry, it's ancient Themyscirian tradition, girls only. Fred, is just all depressed about it. But it's kind of a little cringe, to be honest, a little bit cringe. Having this rivalry between the boys and the girls, but it's alright. We get a little bit of Daphne and Velma training, and Fred's just sitting on the sidelines. And Shaggy and Scooby are just like, alright, we've had enough of this, come on, let's go look for clues. And I'm like, oh. Shaggy and Scooby leading the search for clues. Oh. But we get a bit of the monster coming back, and then finding some clues about what he's after. And they find out that like a map to some treasure or whatever, and then they start to go looking for it, and Wonder Woman's just like, I have room in the invisible jet if anyone wants to fly with me, and Scooby-Doo calls dibs, because this is kind of a funny thing throughout the episode. Scooby-Doo, he turned down Wanda Sykes so he could stay with Shaggy, but I'm pretty sure, according to this episode, he would drop Shaggy and the gang for a heartbeat if it meant he would be owned by Wonder Woman. He just wants to be Wonder Woman's dog, apparently, and she just loves Scooby-Doo. It's kind of adorable. She just adores Scooby. But Scooby flies in the invisible jet, and Shaggy's just like, oh man, Scoop's afraid of flying. Do you think he'll be alright? And then we get Scooby in the plane with Wonder Woman, and then he's like fantasizing about being her dog, driving around in the invisible car, and being fed Scooby snacks by Wonder Woman. It's cute. And then of course he freaks out, and she's able to calm him down by getting like a whole cartload of hot dogs to keep him calm, which is pretty funny. Then we see the gang driving, and Shaggy's just like freaking out because he's normally snacks with Scooby-Doo. He's like who's gonna eat these bologna and candy sandwiches with me? I've never snacked bologna before, Velma. It's a pretty gross sounding sandwich, but it's a nice callback to like all those weird sandwiches him and Scooby would eat back in Scooby-Doo Where Are You? Like liverwurst a la mode sandwiches. And she's not too happy about it. But they get to the place, and then they find the Minotaur, and Wonder Woman's about to like destroy this thing. She ain't fooling around. She's convinced this is a real Minotaur, and that she's going to end this dude's whole career. And then the gang interfere because they're like, Wonder Woman, no, you can't kill it. That's probably just a guy in a costume. In our experience, it's usually a guy in a costume. So they kind of get in her way and keep her from doing that, and this kind of frustrates Wonder Woman. And then she decides maybe it's better to just go it alone, because these kids are slowing her down, they're getting in the way, and she really needs to take out that Minotaur to keep him from being a threat to other people. But Scooby-Doo just comes out with like this huge speech, because the rest of the gang is just like falling apart, because Fred's mad at the girls because they get to be trained by Wonder Woman, Velma's mad at Shaggy for making her eat a sandwich, and Shaggy's mad at Scooby for ditching him for Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman's just like fed up with all of these kooky teenager shenanigans. Kind of reminds me of an episode of Be Cool Scooby-Doo where the gang would always have this kind of falling out every couple episodes right before they figured out who the true bad guy was and set up the trap and everything. But Scooby-Doo just gives like this huge speech. This is probably one of the longest times he's ever talked. Like, there's the episode where he gives golf commentary. This is like that level. He's like, it doesn't matter if you're a boy, or a girl, or a hot dog, or a frog. We're all heroes. Heroes are about doing what's right, and yada yada. He just gives this massive speech to everyone. And Wonder Woman's like, Scooby, that was touching. At least the parts that I could understand. And she agrees to give all of the gang some training, so we get to see, a training montage. Fred and the girls, doing the real training, Shaggy and Scooby doing their usual shenanigans. It's pretty humorous. And it all comes to play later. Then they, deck out in, Greek armor. And it's just funny. Then they go and find where the monster was headed. They find what he's looking for is, this golden statue head. And then they convince Wonder Woman to do things their way. Set up a trap, catch the bad guy, don't kill him with a sword. and Wonder Woman gives in because she looks at Scooby and Scooby's just like, you can rust us, Wonder Woman. Oh, then the usual shenanigans ensue. Though they put that training to use, and I really want to see like Daphne and Velma keeping this fighting skills. I want to see that come up later in the season, or again at some point. Please keep that as part of their canon character now. They don't have to use it often, but I want to see them be able to stand up for themselves because that was actually really cool. The usual shenanigans ensue. Then Wonder Woman looks like she finally steps in, and it looks like she's going to kill the guy because the trap didn't quite work. She looks like she's about to kill him. And they're like, Wonder Woman, no! But then she jumps over the Minotaur and kicks him into the trap. She's just like, I kind of liked it your way. It was fun. Then they unmask the bad guy, and it was one of the only two suspects in the episode. Like I said, the mystery was not the focus. It was all about the gang and Wonder Woman. Just them coming at odds with each other because she's a superhero and they're just a bunch of teenage mystery solvers. How their different methods kind of clash. But overall, solid episode. Wonder Woman gives them a little bit of a pep talk, saying that their skills are much needed and whatever. And she gives Scooby-Doo one last pet, and it kind of looks a little weird. But overall, very very fun episode. Even Scooby does the pose from the Gal Gadot movies and stuff. Wonder Dooby-Doo! Oh, but I had a lot of fun with these episodes. Overall, please go see them. There's quite a bit I didn't go over, but they're fun. I look forward to seeing more of this. But please, make the mysteries better. Give us more to work on here. I don't know if it's a time thing or they just can't really fit much of the actual mystery stuff in because you have all of this character interaction to squeeze in, and the character interactions are good. The chase sequences and everything, that's all good. Although with the Wonder Woman episode, I think there was this bit where they're playing keep away from the Minotaur with the statue head, and that animation looked a little off to me, I think. A little slow, didn't look quite right. But otherwise, very solid episode. I would love to see something like this again, hopefully when they meet Batman at the end of season 1 here. I'm really looking forward to seeing that given how they portrayed Wonder Woman. Not much more else I really want to say. By the way, thank you all so much for watching my videos. These Scooby-Doo reviews have been really taking off, and I really appreciate it. Please leave a like, a comment down below. Tell me what you thought of these episodes, and if you want to see me continue these, because I have a lot of fun making these. And yeah. Just thank you all so much. And until next time, Scooby-Dooby-Doo!